Okay, so yeah, questions. Can we know about side projects good to have for shortlisting as it's getting more competitive as a PM role? Yes, awesome. Abhishek Anand, I did have an Abhishek Anand in my ex office. Are you my friend, or do I know you? Anyway, so side projects, I would say that there are a lot of categories of side projects, right from, as I said, if you have a family business, or if you have friends who have startups, or if you know seniors who have startups, start getting involved in their businesses first. Understand what the business model is like, and try to see a gap which is already not being met. But at the same time, if they already have a requirement for, let's say, solving some trivial issue, offer to help. Don't look for money at this time. I've seen a couple of posts saying you should pay interns. Is that I agree that everybody should be paid for the services they offer and for the contributions they make. But at this stage, at an entrance stage, trust me, the knowledge and the experience that you will gain will help you land a much higher paying and a better job in future, rather than figuring out that where will the company pay you to be an intern. Because wherever you will get paid for being an intern, you might have to even do a lot more things which are not that helpful for you. Might or might not, right? There's no generalization here. So in terms of the side projects, start with your near circle, because that is the easiest to reach out to. If you do not have any friends, any family, any near approach or access whatsoever, start looking at the college you're in, right? So the college you're in, they will have a they'll have a placement committee. If your placecom committee is sure, placement committee is strong enough, they will have enough details on which companies come for hiring, which companies come for interning. Start reaching to their employees early on LinkedIn, right? Or any other platform that you use, and start asking for projects that you could assist them with, right? More often than not, you will meet with disappointments here. I'm not going to be sugarcoating anything here, but out of 10, maybe you will have one on 10 success rate here, right? So that's another unconventional method. The third very conventional method is, as I said, go to the careers page, go to the posts on LinkedIn, and look for open internship positions, and do anything that it takes to land that. Don't look after money at that point, and try to do your best in that situation. Maybe the founders are difficult, maybe the company is making you slog for long hours. It's okay. All done in this young age, and is in this young stage of your life, is going to be worth it when you're my age and when you're in my stage, right? Because this is the time that I realized that those long nights and those unnecessary, not unnecessary, but those very difficult networking initiatives and projects that I did and calls that I did right now have helped me immensely in having a very balanced career, right? So do all of that, take that extra effort or initiative. And if you're not getting any side project, like nothing of this works, then start your own thing. You will know, you will have some products that you like, you will have some products that you hate, right? Start doing cases on what can you improve, right? Start researching on that product, start researching, start doing surveys, go to Play Store, Google Play Store, and look at the comments that customers have for that product. Find a gap, solve for it, and put it on LinkedIn, and tag that company. I have seen so many stories where a designer has fixed some bug, or an engineer has fixed some bug, and that company, maybe Google or Microsoft, have paid them in millions, or even hired them. Recently, a Zomato intern got hired, right? Because there was a post that Zomato did, and should we hire him or not? And then people said yes, hire him, and he got hired. So you don't know, many unconventional things could work out in your favor. So just do not think that only conventional things work, right? Especially in product management, that's not the case. So that's both good and bad for you, because you'll have to chart your own journey. Great question. uh Atif is asking, I'm at IIM Cozy Code. Okay, I'm not from technical background. Will I get PM shortlist at final placement? So, see, technical background is a very, again, a very subjective term, right? Maybe you are not an engineer is what you want to say, or maybe you have not done tech and you were, let's say, from a commerce background or an arts background and you were into that field, right? But technicality is judged on your ability to understand those concepts. If you want to be a PM, I'm assuming that you are interested in managing products, and mainly the products are going to be either online, or they will have some level of technical involvement in them, even if they are offline products, right? If that is the assumption, then start acquiring skills. Just because your background is not that doesn't limit you to not acquire those skills or not do internships or projects at this stage. As far as I know about IIMs, you do have 2 years in hand, and you do have internships, I think, which are mandatory in between. So try to pick up an internship at a product firm and try to gain as many live PM concepts that you can at that place. If that doesn't work out for you, then, as I said, try to solve a problem for product companies and put that in your stack. Try to do as many case competitions as you can, and win them. Have a mentality of winning them. Maybe you'll not win a lot, but at the end of the day, you'll at least learn a lot of things about product management, about product requirement documents, concept notes, technical specifications. You'll start learning about the terms they use and the jargons that come up, and at the end of the day, at least you will, maybe not immediately, but 2 years down the line, you will definitely land a PM career. So do not ever question your technical maybe expertise or not, but I'm not saying that that should stop you from acquiring that, right? This is the day you start acquiring that. Because if you tell someone that, hey, I don't have the background, and I haven't even started studying about it or doing anything about it, then of course other people will have leverage over you. Because in IIMs and in any B school nowadays, there will be developers, there will be people. Some people had comments here itself. They are from IT background, they are from software world, they have worked with product managers, so they know what they do. They are just coming to a B school, and they'll definitely get that advancement very easily. So if you don't have it historically, that's okay. But if you are not going to do anything about it, that is not okay, right? Okay. Ojaswa is asking, ma'am, I just want a little guidance. Please don't call me ma'am, all of you. Like, it's okay. You can call me Khanjan. I just want a little guidance from you, that how can I get or search an entry level job in project management? I completed PGDM in 2021 and lost my job after 2 months due to COVID. So sorry for that. Okay. So, entry level job in project management is, I don't think that's very challenging, because project management is, it judges you based on your expertise of the tools and the practice, right? Not of the how many projects have you managed, right? That's, I have been into project management, so I know that. And I hope you meant project and not product. Project management and product management are very different, very very different. But project management is a part of product manager's job as well, right? So, just like any other entry level job, go for job description studies. Go and analyze the job descriptions of project management roles, where they specifically mention that your requirement is just having a degree, and you already have work experience. It's not that you've never been in a company. You can mention in your interviews that this is why I lost it, but I have gained this experience, and when I lost my job, I made sure that I, let's say, study about this skill, or I work on this project, right? So basically show that you have some kind of an active contribution to that work, even after not having that job. And at the same time, just like any other entry level position, talk to the recruiters. There are so many talent agencies nowadays. Maybe you can enroll yourself in these talent agencies. They will help you reach out to the companies which are recruiting, and these HRs are very helpful in mapping you to the right requirement, right? So rather than spending on courses or on companies which are into this particular area, spend your money and effort into these talent recruiting agencies. They will definitely help you with a job convert. um, and I seriously hope it was project management that you asked, because that's what I read. Okay. Oh, Himanshu is here. Okay. Thanks, Himanshu. Okay. So then we have Abhishek Nagar, who's asking, what do you think about PM as a career in India? Growth and salary, everything in long term. Oh, I would say it's the best role in the world at this point because, as I said, you get complete ownership no matter which company you're in. Because of the kind of the role it is, you will get complete ownership on the product that you're handling, the neighboring teams which are dependent on that product, the sales, the strategy, customer success, everything and anything, right? Practically everything and anything under the roof for that product is your job, your visibility, your ownership, everything. So from the work standpoint, you will never feel bored, you will never feel that you are not being involved in decision making, you will never feel left out, you will never feel that you are being sort of bypassed in important product strategy, roadmaps, anything, right? So it's a high ownership, high responsibility, high visibility role. In terms of growth, there is a rapid growth trajectory in product manager roles, especially at junior levels. Maybe after senior PM, the next possible switch that people look for would be associate director, group PMs. That is tough because you need to then have people management experience. So even today, I don't have teams reporting into me, right? So once that happens is when I can then start eyeing for those kind of roles. But then at the same time, it does not mean that I can't get that kind of an opportunity. So the growth really depends on your performance. What does performance mean in product management roles? Delivering and shipping products which are successful. Does that mean it is not good with failures? No, it does not mean that. But obviously, a lot of effort and time and resources go into shipping a product right from the conceptualization stage. So there, it is important for you to make sure that you have some successes under your bucket, and that would definitely ensure that you grow very fast in this role, especially when you're just starting out. Salary wise, it is, I would say, it is the highest paying job. Not even one of the highest paying jobs. It is the highest paying job for entry level professionals in India and outside, both. Maybe outside, not so much. Maybe investment and hedge fund and venture capital profiles would rank higher, but that's anyway a very niche category which people really don't like. Very few people are capable or aspiring for that. So if you compare, let's say, other jobs, all the other jobs on one side and product jobs on one side, product jobs will be paying you the best compensation in any kind of level, right? So definitely, if you can enter PM jobs, please enter, no matter what company. And yeah, so for entering, you should not look at the company honestly, because even getting that product tag will be helpful, that experience will be helpful for you to further build up your career. If you already are a product manager, then to become a PM2 or to become an SPM or to become whatever, then you should start looking for whether that company is a startup, whether you like the culture, whether you like the compensation, this that, right? But entering may don't keep that many filters for yourself, है ना? Okay. So then, uh, Ojasva has said he has also worked as a market research associate. Yeah, so definitely, Ojasva, as I said, you don't really have to worry. You have to just approach the right agencies and the right people and start applying frantically. I remember there was a time in my life when I used to apply for at least 20 plus jobs in a day. And if you know, if you have applied for jobs, you know how tedious even one application is, because the way these career portals are designed, they want your entire life, biography, history, geography, everything. And auto typing and this that is there, but you they are not that accurate, so you will have to put in information, and even finding those roles, applying, you will have to do that. I'm not going to lie, but be a frantical, be frantic in that approach. Just don't stop, don't lose hope with rejections. Everybody faces rejections. I also today will face rejection, and I do face rejections. And why do I keep applying, or why do I keep seeing? It's just because one should never stop looking for good opportunities. One should never stop looking for the next best thing for yourself, right? So everybody will face rejection. Do not equate that with your self-worth. I know thoda gyanbazi type ho raha hai, but I really mean this, right? And even being from ISB, in ISB we used to face so many rejections. Even though the best of so-called cream people used to be there, but even there we used to face rejection. So that's when I understood the importance of being thick-skinned and being pragmatic in this. So you just think of it as a funnel, right? The higher your application numbers are, the more probability you have of actually landing one or at least one or two offers. The shorter or the lesser your applications are, chances of success drastically reduce. Okay, let's pick up Aman's question. Hi, Khanjan. Have done BTech from IIT Delhi. Awesome. And working with Goldman Sachs from 3 years. I want to shift to PM. Should I go for ISB INSEAD or just directly jump into PM? As I said, going to ISB INSEAD is not equal to getting a PM role. Chances are you'll go to ISB INSEAD, you'll get a very handsome salary and an offer, but that won't be PM. That won't be PM. That can happen. So do not equate going to a college with getting a career. Go to a college because you want to learn things there. Go to a college because you think that the probability increases. Maybe if you go to an ISB, your probability of landing a PM role is going to be 50% more than versus not going to ISB. That is acceptable. But does it ensure that you'll get a PM role? No. Was it sure that I will get a PM role when I went to ISB? Not at all. 0% chances they. And I fought against all odds. And as I said, I saw many failures. Some of them were not even making sense for me, frankly, to understand, but they were the fact of the matter. And then I finally landed one that I loved. So do not go to an ISB INSEAD are huge money. Giving that kind of commitment, financial commitment to a company, to a college is also very big decision. The ROI might not always be in your favor since you're already from IIT and Goldman. I do assume that the delta won't be that high for you. For somebody who's at a very lower level of, let's say, package wise, or at an entry level of experience, maybe for them ISB and INSEAD offer a very big jump, but maybe for you it wouldn't be that big a jump, or it could be, right? So it really depends on what do you do after going to ISB INSEAD, because going to ISB is easy. I always tell this. After going there, you realize what life is all about, right? After going there, you realize that you are nothing as compared to your peers, and everybody there is so exceptional. And then finally competing with them to get even PM role chodo, any job becomes a very big task. And the hard work that you have to put in, the hours that you have to put in, the mental sort of baggage that comes in with all of that, because you might have loans, you might have you are not having a job for an year, so you might leave that, and you've been into it since 3 years, so you already are a very I was also I went to ISB after 3 years of experience myself. So that's a huge shift as well. So when you're going to ISB or in INSEAD, again, both of them are not same. INSEAD is a completely different world. They don't have placement assistance. They don't have the Indian flavor to things. So life is 50% more challenging at INSEAD, maybe better at ISB. But if you want to go for international jobs, then ISB में उतने ज़्यादा नहीं आते हैं, maybe 10-20%. And I'm assuming you understand Hindi. Yeah. So ISB, it won't be that higher chance that you land a PM role in an international company. So if you want to go to an international company and be a PM outside, start applying right now. If you get shortlists, or if you are in Goldman Sachs, start working on products in Goldman Sachs. Start showing that you have knowledge of how a product manager would work on something, and start picturizing that in your resume. If you get shortlist for PM roles, I'd say don't go for ISB INSEAD, because from what I understand, your only goal is getting into PM, right? And this applies to everyone that is here, because somewhere you all might have considered taking a higher education degree versus directly applying, right? So I would always say doing this is separate, but always keep applying. Even today after this session, you should be applying to 5 jobs. If you're looking out for, if you're happy in your job, well and good, but if you're looking out for any switch, start applying. Do not get lazy. Do not think that abhi karunga tabhi karungi. No, you have to keep at it. But yeah, great great question, and it rattled my memory of what all I was going through when, 3 years ago. Vinotha is asking, Hi Kanjan, I worked as a consultant in a service based company. I'm extremely interested to join PM role, but how to transition? I have no prior experience with products, but I'm building the skills. Awesome. So Vinota, I think for you, you will have to start, let's say, in parallel, work on a live project, or if you're in consulting, chances are you will be. It's a service-based company, right? But there will be some interlying product, underlying product that might be there. So let's say if you're a consultant, hypothetically in Deloitte, okay, and you are consulting, let's say, some companies for their HR management practices. So there will be some tool that your tech teams might be working on. There might be some tools which the client might be working on, right? So start gaining knowledge about that from a product perspective. Start thinking, what are the features, what are the price points, what is the customer segment for this. Start analyzing the customer segment. Start thinking, what is your role in solving the problems for that customer segment, right? Are you solving a need that is, let's say, by filling some gap by introducing some new feature, or are you recommending new features to that company, or are you recommending better customer service? Are you working on improving the customer success or the customer service aspects? Are you working on, let's say, improving the success rates of that platform, right? There would be some. So what I'm trying to say is that whenever you are in this transition zone, the way you work at your own company has to be a little more nuanced for product management, right? So start looking at things from a product lens. Since you said you're already building the skills, I'm sure you know of what the product manager does. You know what they work on. You know how they do the research, how they talk to customers, how they have personas for customers, how they address the pain points. Then comes the user stories, then comes the features, then comes the prioritization of the features, then comes the launch, then comes the go to market. So these are the aspects, right, in a product management journey or a role. So in your consulting career, start shaping or start showing everything in this lens. And I have been at Bain and Company, I have been into consulting there, so I know what I'm saying, and it is possible, it is not impossible. When you start to think of it from this angle, you will understand that yeah, you have been doing actually a lot of things that a product manager does. You do stakeholder management, a product manager does stakeholder management. You talk to clients, you understand their requirements, and you solution it via some service. Now that service is a product from your side, right? So you are essentially doing everything that a PM does, but the terminologies you use are different, the jargons you have are different, and the solution that you recommend is maybe on a service level, or on a process level, which is all acceptable. So one is start working from that lens. Two is reshape your resume accordingly. Third is actually work on some product which your consulting firm has. So usually consulting firms have their knowledge verticals or their technical verticals. Reach out to your counterparts from there, reach out to your leadership from there, and ask them for additional information or projects which are directly for those products, right? And I always say that internal transition is a lot more easier for majority of people than switching outside when you're not a PM. So so just sneakily start taking additional projects and information in your own company, and then look for in parallel applying for external roles as well. I hope that helps. Okay. Naman is asking, how do freshy PMs showcase their skills like design folks have their portfolios, etc.? Yeah, great question. So, freshy, I like the word freshy. So, freshy PMs actually have to uh, ace the execution aspects first. Why do I say that? Is because in the initial stage, nobody is expecting you to build out of the box features which achieve product market fit in a month, and which attain all the success metrics in 2 months. That's not going to be possible. More often than not, it will be just your execution finesse in terms of managing the backlog. So backlog is an agile term used for all the tasks that you have to do for your product roadmap, right? Making the roadmap accurately, so allocating enough, allocating the right user stories, or understanding what that particular feature is doing for your customers, talking to your customers, building a rapport with them. If you cannot talk to your customers directly, build a rapport with your sales teams and your customer success teams to understand what are the challenges that the your company is meeting, and what is the biggest pain point. Then start working on executing the tasks that have been already allocated to you. Execution is the biggest challenge for any PM, even if they are seniors, because setting the right expectation with your tech teams, communicating the right context to all your stakeholders, understanding the customer problems accurately, all of these are challenges which lead to inefficiencies in execution. So either there are delays, or only half of the work is done in the year, or you are asking for resources which are not justified, right? So those kind of challenges is what you should work on. And when you're growing in your PM career, start going deeper into the strategic aspects, such as, what if I focus on this goal? Is retention my problem, or is acquisition my problem? Is churn increasing because of a reason? Can I look at that reason and do something in my product which helps it? Right? Are my customer success representatives really helping my customers or not? If they are not helping, what are the reasons? Are they equipped and trained for that or not? So finding processual issues, finding product issues, finding the funnel issues, right? Those are the things that you start doing in parallel, even when you're a freshie, and eventually your growth ladder becomes much faster in that case, right? So that's how it is. And yeah, you don't have portfolios, you just have execution successes to show. So that is your portfolio. uh Okay, so then we have Milind who's asking, what do you think PM course from ISB? So I have been recently seeing, when I was there in ISB, there was no PM course, but abhi aajkal I've been seeing this, that they have some PM course of 1.5 year or so. Don't take my word for it, but there is some PM course, and I would say I have seen the professors who are taking it, so I have learned from those professors. See, I can honestly vouch for it from a credibility standpoint, but I cannot tell you that that is going to, I don't know if they offer placement assistance or not, so please go through the link after this call. I really don't have information on what is it, because it just got introduced. But as I said, I can vouch for the credibility of the academic um, aspects of the course. I cannot tell you whether that will help you land a job, or that whether they have offer placement assistance, what are the packages, whether it's a good fit or not, right? So that's something that I really don't have any comments on. Akhil is asking, technical skills needed for PM roles. Yeah, this is an awesome question. So the first and the most important technical skill to have is understanding of data, right? It's not a faffy role where you are like, hey, ye wala feature bana dete hain, let's design this. No. Why are you doing it? What are you studying? Are you looking at customer sign-ups, customer usage data? Are you looking at the login session data? Are you looking at the competitors data? Right? What is it that you are basing your decisions on? So first is having an understanding of data elements, possibly knowing analytics. It's best if you can write SQL queries. Learn that. It's not difficult. Learn SQL querying as well. Learn database management at some level, at beginner's level. That is the first technical skill that is going to be very essential for you and very helpful for you. I'm not saying that if you don't know analytics, you won't be hired as a PM. But if you know that, you'll have a way bigger leverage over your counterparts. That's the first thing. Second technical skill that you should acquire is, if you want to go into software product management, is and usually all the product management is software, is about the understanding of technical architecture, right? So understand how websites work, understand how API calls are made, understand how the mobile application development works, understand how ads function, right? What is the model for search engine optimization? What is the model for app store optimization? So these are some basic technical things. You don't have to be an expert in blockchain and machine learning, I'm not saying that, but the basics of a technical stack, architecture, software development lifecycle, SEO, ASO, React development. These are the basics that you should be knowing, at least concept wise. Maybe you don't have done you may not have certifications on these technologies. That's okay. If you have that, then it's even better. And I would say have that, but I wouldn't say that that's mandatory. I would say what's mandatory is an understanding of the concepts and an understanding of what is happening there, so that when you go as a PM, you don't become a burden on your technical team, you become an asset for them. As a PM, your job is to be an asset for everyone around you, not be a burden on them, right? And the third technical skill that you can develop is around, let's say, project management tools, right? So I did mention in, I think before the glitch happened, I said that project management tools are very important. Project management is an aspect of product management. So having a holdover tools like Jira, which is a project management tool but for engineering teams mainly, Asana, which is a project management tool for other stakeholders, right? Or any other, even MS Office for their matter, Google Docs, Google Sheets, etc., where you just know about the basics of how you track your milestones, how you track your project successes, how you build roadmaps, how you allocate responsibilities to different stakeholders, how do you do the tracking. So just keep on reading about these tools that are upcoming, and make an account on them, and just randomly start building project sheets for that, right? So these are the three technical skills. To summarize, first is analytics and data analytics understanding, database management understanding. Second is understanding of the technical stack and the software development lifecycle, the ASO, SEO, marketing aspects of it, right? All those technical aspects. And the third one is your project management tools specifically. If you learn all these three, trust me, you have done 70% of your job of skill development or skill acquisition for a PM role, right? Designing, fourth will be designing skills, but I wouldn't say that's mandatory. Like, if you know Figma, if you know what other this balsamic is a very basic mock wireframing tool. I'll just put it here for everybody to follow. Figma, balsamic, है ना? So all these will help you understand the prototyping nuances ki how do you make mock-ups for a website or a mobile app, etc. That helps you a little more, but that's not the top three that I'd say. Top three would be the ones that I mentioned. I hope that helps. Okay. Aman is asking, I am getting offers for PM in startups like Wald. Is this a good move? Also, I think having an MBA will be good for my career in a long run for executive roles. What's your thoughts? So, getting an offer for PM in startups, as I said, I can't comment. I don't know what Wald does, so I can't comment on whether it's a good move or not. But because you are in consulting, and because as I said, when you are transitioning, it should not matter to you what is the company, as long as you're getting a PM role. At least you'll get the experience, at least you'll get the credibility, right? So you can go for it. Having an MBA in the long run, I would say, again, will not matter if you grow in your PM career, right? Because MBA does nothing for a PM. MBA, say you really, it's academic, uh, it's an academic degree, right? So just like engineering academic degree, has it done anything for your engineering life? No. You are at Goldman Sachs and you've been at IIT, if I'm not missing out, or if I'm not mixing up two things. But so, like, yeah, what are you doing at Goldman Sachs? Was that taught at IIT Delhi? Maybe it was. I really don't know what all they teach at IITs, but maybe it was taught. But like, the message here is that in the long run, what matters is how you perform in the short run. Multiple short successes and short wins are going to ensure that you have a fruitful long run. So having an MBA could be a great boon for you, which it was for me. Going to ISB was the best sort of booster for me in my career. But will it be for you? Maybe yes. But even without going, it might be that you will be successful. So, as I said, going for an MBA should not be for, I would say, better packages or going to a certain company or going to a certain role, because that's not guaranteed. Na? You might think, yeah, Google comes to ISB, let me go to ISB, I'll go into Google. Everybody thinks that. I also thought that. Google did not even shortlist me. So, like, how do even today Google keeps rejecting me, right? So, how do you really ensure that you'll get something just because you have paid to an MBA college and you go there? What you get for sure is the network. What you get for sure is the confidence, is the academia, is the professor's guidance, is the mentorship. Maybe they have if you want to found a startup, they also have their incubation centers. You might go to MBA for these reasons, right? So that's what I'm trying to give as a message. Okay. Let me go to the little niche wale questions. Pratham is asking, would you someone to join APM at a Series A funded startup where there is not anyone in the product team, not any senior PM, have laid off 80 plus people, past decent, good name now. So what I'm assuming is it's some startup where there is firing happening and you want to join as an APM. Right now, again, Pratham, if you currently are not into a PM vertical, or if you're a student, or if you want to enter into the PM world, this is not a bad option, because at least you go there and you get to work on products, because there is no product team. Now, is layoff a danger sign? Of course, yes. Would I recommend anybody who is already a PM in some good company to go to a company which lays off? Obviously not, right? So it really depends on where you are at in your journey. If you can post a follow up comment about that, I can give you a better answer. Okay. Let's pick up Tanuj's question. Hey Kanjan, given your time at PayPal and Exponent, have you noticed any difference in the product ecosystem, industry, PMs, candidates in and outside India? Yeah, great question. Uh, I wouldn't say so, except for the fact that the exposure that the Indian PMs have is probably a little more because of the Indian market, right? So even though a lot of Indian product management roles are in Indian companies or in Indian markets, because of the variety of customers we have here, because of the underdeveloped nature of our countries, and even in the South Asia, Southeast Asia Pacific region, because of that, the problems we can solve and the ideas we can generate is a lot more than people outside. So people outside, they are more focused on executing already planned for and solved for problems well. But here we have newer problems to solve every single day. I was at Exponent, I won't comment really, but Razorpay and PayPal is what I compare, right? So at Razorpay, we had the opportunity to literally have new features every other quarter also, because there is so much to solve in the Indian fintech industry. But at the same time, PayPal has done it almost all, right? And PayPal works in different countries and different geographies. So as a PM at PayPal, I need to understand at a country level what is required, or at a geography level what is required, but the problems remain pretty much solved for. So I'm making enhancements. Of course, we are doing newer things as well. But at Razorpay, we had literally new products to deliver, we had new features to deliver. So as a PM, you shouldn't be really worried about whether you are in India or outside or what, but you should just be worried about whether you relate with that product, right? Whether you are passionate about that product. If you hate that product completely, for example, a lot of people from you might love sports, but I don't understand sports. I'm not a sports person. I like running and jogging, so I just maybe look at formula racing at times, but I don't really follow sports. So there were gaming companies who were interviewing me, and nothing came through. even I was not interested in those processes because I don't relate to that industry. So I'm not passionate about. I won't even understand the terms they use and the literature of sports and gaming industry, right? So why should I go into gaming? I understand. I play a lot of games online, but not the real sports, right? So that's what you should judge your companies on, whether you are passionate about the industry, the product, the market, whether you understand it, and whether you can be a contributor in that or not. Apart that, Indian PMs and outside Indian PMs are all the same. I in my PayPal's team, I have so many Indians who are in the US who are PMs, and then there are us who are core Indian PMs, and then there are non-Indian PMs. But I haven't seen any difference in the way we operate, right? So, but an interesting question. Dhaval is asking, hi Kanjan, hope you're healthy and fine. Yes, for now, touchwood, I hope we all remain fine. What does it take to get selected for 1 year executive MBA from top 10 Indian B schools like 10, 12, grad marks, work experience, etc.? Hmm. So, executive programs, see, there are two types of executive programs. One is the kind where, which is IIMs and ISBs and XLRIs, where you can have some work experience or not, and you can apply. ISB may you cannot apply without work experience, but you can be something known as a young leader, in which you apply in the last year of your college, but you have to work for 2 years and then you go to ISB, but your admission is finalized. I don't think that this program exists for any other MBA college. The second executive program that exists is for people with more than 10 years of work they are executives in their fields. So that is given by, I think, IIMs at this point and ISB. I'm not sure about other B schools. So for those executive, real executive, not real, but senior executive leadership programs, you genuinely don't need a lot. You just have to express your interest, apply, show your work experience, figure out what you want from that course, and you can join. Why I say that is because I had a person who was interviewing for that exec program in ISB, and I was interviewing for the PGP, which is the postgraduate program at ISB. So that's why I talked to him and I understood all this, right? For this kind of executive program, which is 2 years, 3 years, up to 5 years work ex, in ISB, we had up to 23 years also in my own batch. He was a colonel, he is a colonel, and he's an amazing person, and he was with us, right? So, and we had people with 16 months or 18 months of work ex as well. So that's the range. So now, in order to get into these programs, what you need is the entrance exam score. So ISB accepts GMAT and IIMs accept CAT, and the other colleges have their own ZAT, VAT, and NMAT, जो भी होता है. Of course, that is required. Try to get as good scores as you can in those tests. The other thing you need is, of course, your 10th, 12th marks, but I don't think that makes a difference. Like, I don't think, like, if you're a if you're a 99% in 12th boards versus an 82% in 12th boards, it matters. I was a topper up till, I think, until ninth or 10th, and then I completely, like, I took science and I just hated it. So I got very bad marks in my 10th and 12th CBSE results, right? So I was like, 10th was okay, but 12th I got in 80s, but that has never been a problem for me, thankfully. So no, marks really of 10, 12 don't matter. Of course, if you have a 9900, if you're a state topper, this that, it will always help you. But if you don't have it, like me, you'll still do okay in your life. What else do you need? You need a solid essay. Now this essay is going to express why you want to go to that college, especially in ISB. We look at those essays. There are two essays that have to be written, and I think it's similar for XLRI also, because my sister's in XLRI at the moment. But basically, IIMs, तो you need good CAT scores, तो वो तो भूल ही जाओ. ठीक है, but at least in ISBs and XLRIs and all these other private colleges, you just have to basically make sense of why you want to do that MBA, right? Not because you want this, that you want. Of course, you want all that, but the message that should go is that, okay, this has been my career, these are my strengths, this is what I offer to the community, this is what I want from the community, this is my 5 year plan. Your shit has to be sorted out, basically, in that essay at least. So that's how you can get an admit. Hmm. Let me pick up. Now we have 40 more minutes. So I'll be a little faster and so that I can cover more questions. And I've spoken so much. Okay. Dhaval is asking, always amazed what does exactly recruiters look for when they offer somebody a package of 70 lakh to 1.5 crore. I don't know. That's something that I also don't know. So let it be. I am a QA engineer with 10 years experience. How to transition to product owner? Ramyashri. Yeah. So Ramyashri, it's pretty like because you are into QA, you might have a product manager of your own team, right? You will have an engineering manager possibly. You will be a part of an agile team. You will be witnessing your other software developers and backend developers doing their jobs. So I think you have a lot of learning in your immediate vicinity. So sit with your manager and first discuss with them if they are helpful on what are your goals. Unless you tell it, nobody's going to give you anything, right? So first communicate your goals that you want to be a product owner. If they tell you that Rameshri, you need to have, let's say, this project experience before you transition to a product owner role, start getting those experiences, right? Start acquiring those skills. Maybe shadow an SDE, which is software development engineer or a backend engineer, or maybe shadow the product manager in all their meetings, right? And try to say that, okay, I'm going to start picking up some work from this product owner, or I'm going to start picking up some code development projects from someone, right? So that training should be available to you internally itself. But if it is not, then as I said, you will have to start doing projects on product management or product ownership. Again, product owner is sometimes synonymous with a product manager and sometimes it is not. So if you're asking in a pure technical perspective, then this is the only route you have. But if you're asking in a non-technical product management perspective, then you should do all the other things which I have suggested to practically any entrant, right? So do live projects on products, think from a product standpoint, talk to more stakeholders, understand the customer problem, understand what is the success of metric of that particular product, and shadow the product teams. If you're not getting these opportunities in your own company, sadly you will have to switch. Before switching, make sure that you do some internships or some courses or acquire some skills which will add on to your QA experience, and build from there, right? Okay. Akhil is asking, what are some of the things should be done to switch from banking to product based company? Currently I work in banking as AM, which is I think assistant manager role in retail department. Yeah. So three of my closest friends are in banks, and they also wanted to get into PM. So how I help them out is by they as I said, right, internal transition is always three times easier than external transition when you're entering, not when you're already a PM. So in that case, in banks, the good thing is you have products, you have financial products, right? So start pivoting internally. Enter the digital products team or enter the team which looks after the app or the website. Enter the team or start working with the team which works on the customer success maybe division, right? Because they will have lots of insights on the customer problems that your bank is solving. Look at the glitches that are there in your website from a user standpoint and start solving for those and recommending those to your leadership or to whoever is helpful as a mentor in your bank. Now, if your bank is such that they have no room for such experimentation or such additional project taking opportunities, then go to a bank which does. So, for as a fact, I know that Kotak Mahindra, ICICI, even HDFC have these roles, which are digital manager roles, right? So try to enter there. That should be easy for you because you are already in a bank as an assistant manager. Once you enter that, then you can pivot to a product company, right? And then you can easily get into some fintechs like Razorpay, PayPal, etc. as product managers. So I have a lot of friends who have done this path, and this is the route you can follow. Okay. uh hmm. Deepak is asking, One second, I lost it. 10 years experience in a semiconductor company as software developer, want to move to PDM, product management, and want to go for full-time MBA. Is it too much of opportunity cost? Any advice? Thanks. Okay, so opportunity cost, Deepak, will depend on which company are you in, what is your package here, what are your growth prospects like. Are they going to promote you to an engineering manager role in the next 1 year? Right? Can you pivot to a product management role versus an engineering manager role in the next 2 years? Because I have seen a lot of people do that. If the answer is yes, seriously, an MBA would be a lot of high opportunity cost for you, given that you might have a family and other liabilities as well. That's my assumption, right? Because you've been 10 years in the industry. But if you really don't see a sight of growth for you in any which way, then doing an MBA would be a good break point for you, to transition into whatever you want to go into PM careers. It would definitely help you out. I'm not saying that, but maybe not from a package or a growth role perspective. Maybe you'll have to undercut your expectation a bit, or maybe not. Who knows? But if you're ready for taking that hit, well and good. If But I would recommend that if you can get it in your own company, that's even better. Especially semiconductor businesses are very niche and very looked after. So if you're a PM in a semiconductor company, it would be very good for you, right? So I would recommend that. So Priya, how will my bachelor's degree college affect my job placement after my master's? If it is from a top university, will there be discrimination between candidates, between tier 2 and IIT and NITs? So I would say in product management, there is no discrimination. There is no discrimination. I'm telling you this, right? I can vouch for it. But in consulting, yes. Do all consulting firms have that discrimination? No. Uh, in sales, it won't be a problem, right? So if you haven't mentioned, but I'm assuming because you are here at my live, you want to get into PM. That's my assumption. So if that's your goal, it will not matter. The only thing that matters is your capabilities, your skills, your passion, your interpersonal skills, your communication skills, your articulation skills. That's all that matters. College pedigree does not matter. In fact, at ISB, I had hidden my GPA from my resume. So none of my recruiters has ever asked me of my GPA or CGPA or whatever. So I don't think it matters. Do you know Marathi? Are you from Maharashtra? So I have lived in Pune. A very unrelated question, but I have been in Pune for 2.5 years and Mumbai for 4 years. So I understand Marathi very well, but I can speak in a very broken format. So I wouldn't want to do that. Okay, Ganesh is asking how to get into an APM role. Yeah, Ganesh, so getting into associate product management roles is a lot more easier than PM roles. Through internships you can convert to an APM role. That's one. Second is apply for an APM role by showing that you have the work experience and expertise that neighbors the product management role. So what I mean by neighbors is, have you done stakeholder management? Have you done customer research? Do you know analytics? Do you know coding? Do you know customer research? Right? All these things, if you know, bucket them in your resume and apply for APM roles. Shouldn't be a very big challenge for you to get into it. So internship or uh, shaping your resume better, and or both, right? So Priya, does ISB have BBA courses? No, it doesn't. Shaunak, what do you think about PM role for someone who wants to be an entrepreneur in future? It's the best possible role for an entrepreneur. I myself want to be one. I am looking at this, mentorship area as well for my own entrepreneurship experience. And being a PM helps me in being a better manager, being a better, having a tighter grip on execution, having a deeper understanding of the business, the top line, the bottom lines, having an understanding of what customer wants. So when you're an entrepreneur, you want to make sure that you make something which your customer wants. So being a PM is the best possible role you can have for being an entrepreneur. Okay. My TV is asking, do PMs have to do work of a scrum master like handling sprints every day? Yes. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. It really depends. But if you do it, like, see, You have to be a part of the sprint every day, that's for sure, because if you don't be a part of the sprint, then people are not going to come to you and give you updates. If you want updates, go to that sprint for 15 minutes and get updates, right? But is it your job to handle those? No, there will be scrum owners, there will be engineering managers, there will be project leads who will take care of that. But if you're in a very small company where the team hiring is not in the full structure, then you might have to double up as a scrum owner. Amar is asking, okay. Thanks, Amar. Thank you so much. Ashish is asking, hi, I've started my job as a PMO executive. PMO is Project Management Office, right? That's what I understand. Can you please tell me the future scopes about this role? Future scope is very good. You will, if you are passionate about project management in general, if you're passionate about, let's say, handling multiple project lines and executing them, and enough getting enough milestones delivered on time, you have a very good career future in consulting companies, or even in companies like PayPal. We have PMOs who are very senior and who do amazing jobs at literally handling the entire launch in a country level of projects. So there is a very good scope for PMO roles as well. And I am assuming that by PMO you mean project management operations or office roles, right? Okay. Supriya is saying thank you anytime. Supriya. Shubham is asking which is better, working at a startup as a PM or working at MNC at PM. I would say it really depends on what are your expectations of the role. If you are in it for more, let's say, if you're looking at learning, or if you're at a beginner stage, working at a startup will be very helpful, because you have a smaller barrier to cross to get complete understanding of the product, and to get complete understanding of the customer segments. You can reach to customers faster, and you can grow faster. But if you are already a senior in your PM experience, then startups might not be able to offer you the growth and the compensation that you seek, because you have a growing family, you have liabilities, whatever. So then people pivot to MNCs. That's like any other role, that's how it is. uh hmm So Swapnil is asking how to get from a digital marketing role 10 plus years to a product manager role. Have you seen any such real life cases? Yes, I have. In Razorpay, we had many such switches happening. So we had growth managers coming to PM, we had analytics, product analysts coming to PM, we had designers coming to PM, we had PMMs, product marketing managers coming to PM. So if you're into digital marketing, Swapnil, you do understand, you are a veteran, right? 10 plus years. So you are a veteran in, you know, positioning the product right, and knowing all the digital marketing strategies of the product launch. You know how to attain the product market fit. You know what are the tools used for digital marketing. So for you, a company like Google will have a lot of digital marketing digital product manager roles, which is what you can eye for. And I have seen such cases. So yes, you definitely can explore it. Of course, I don't know about how many opportunities will you have, because you have a niche that you have worked on. So but you definitely have these strengths over others, which I just mentioned. Ankur is asking, hello Khanjan, thanks for conducting anytime. I'm into strategy consulting and have almost 4+ years of experience in consulting. How would I transition into PM role, not APM? Okay. Yeah, APM would be a little junior for you. But Ankur, I would say that, and I just answered this for, was it Amar or was it Aman? Somebody had asked similar question, right? I would say that start with focusing on the services or the products that you're giving to your clients. Is there a scope for you to get into the product aspects of it? Showcase your skills in managing teams, showcase your skills in conducting research with the clients you have, showcase your expertise in the industries that you have worked for. So for example, I was not a fintech person, but why I got jobs in fintech is because at Bain, I was working with financial companies across Europe and US markets. I was very accurate in depicting that experience, even if it was for 5 months. Right. So for you, because you've been into it since 4 years, you have so much of knowledge on industries, on markets, on customer requirements, on different types of tools they use, on different types of cultures they have. So you can bring all of this in your experience along with some skills that you build, like analytics, like let's say design, like technical architecture understanding of products, right? Just match them with those, and then pitch your resume in an accurate manner. Maybe reach out to some mentors in the PM world, or maybe reach out to your friends and other acquaintances for referrals, internal referrals, and you should be able to crack it. I have seen such switches. Yash Mohite is asking, how was your experience in the consulting world with Bain and Co? Bain and Company was one of my dream companies before I joined ISP. Not that I don't love it even now, but because I'm into product and Bain does not do product, it no longer is my dream company. But Bain and Company, firstly, from an employer standpoint, has been winning the employment surveys, best employer surveys since years, and it is true. It is an amazing company that gives you a very good environment to learn, and the clients are top notch. The colleagues that you have are very well seasoned as consultants, so you learn a lot from them. From a company standpoint, of course, it takes care of its employees a lot, and it was a great experience. But as I said, for me, I had this epiphany that I'm not as good a consultant as I am a product manager, and I'm not as passionate about consulting as I am for product management. So my experience was amazing. I made great friends. I miss them. We are still in touch. But then I left it just in 5 months because I thought that that was not the vision I had for my future. So I had to leave it. Tanuj is asking, if your product has a great acquisition, organic referrals, but not a great retention, what would you infer about the product market fit? Very specific question. So, Tanuj, I worked as a retention lead in Razorpay. So, when I say retention lead, not that I was looking after all the retention, but my goal as a product manager was retention. So, acquisition and retention have a very close connection, right? So, when you acquire a customer, and especially organically, which means that your product definitely has some success established with some customers it has, right? It has a good net promoter score. So, what net promoter score means is how likely are your existing customers are to recommend your product to others. That's the net promoter score survey that we do. Now, once your customer gets acquired, right, and it's organic, so your cost of acquisition CAC is very less as compared to an inorganic acquisition. When that happens, that person comes to your product because of whatever they had as an understanding, and because you did not acquire that customer, you do not know whether you are actually serving their needs. They just came because they thought it will serve their needs, and they came, and now you have acquired them, but they looked at the product and it did not really do much for them. In that case, the retention might not be possible for those customers unless you have an active engagement cycle with your customers, right? So engagement cycle is spread across your product, engaging with them at a frequent level, through notifications, through updates, through better discovery of your product features, through good customer service tools such as a chat box and a calling option and an email option, through surveys that you take, all of that. And then the other engagement that you do is at a personal level. So, do you have a mechanism where they can reach out to an account manager or a sales manager or a product manager or anybody who they can ask for features to, or who they can complain about features to? If you have both these set up well, is when you can retain a customer that has come through organic reference. But otherwise, it's a matter of chance. If they come basis a perception, and if you meet what they want, you might retain them, and if not, they might flee. So this is the overall picture, right? It's a very good and specific question. Thank you for that. Okay, so Deepak said he's worked at Qualcomm, and manager role is still 3 4 years away. Hmm. Yeah, so you've worked for 10 plus years and you're currently at Qualcomm, which is one of the biggest semiconductor companies, and you still see 3, 4 years. In that case, you maybe can think about MBA, but again, as I said, Deepak, MBA should be, you should do an MBA not just for a job or a manager role, but you should do it because of the other things it offers, because it might not offer you, it will offer you a manager role for sure, that is a given, but what kind of manager, right? And in what company and at what package? um, they will obviously give you a package higher than what you are at currently, but will it be at par with your experience levels and your your seniority levels is the question. So usually I'll give you a statistic that at ISB at least we had people with work ex less than 4 years, 4 to 8 years, and then more than 8 years. So companies used to specify that they want people from this bucket, that bucket, or that bucket. And of course, more than 8 plus years experience, the jobs for them were much more nuanced and niche and lesser as compared to this bucket. So that's my answer for you. I think you will have to do a lot more research into the placement statistics and into the kind of companies that you want to join. Just look at those colleges and look whether they offer, whether those companies come there or not, and in parallel start applying elsewhere also, right? Like start applying yourself and see if you're getting calls for interviews, then you might as well just land a job without an MBA, right? Because you are at a very senior stage and you have collected so much experience and goodwill across the line, which might just get washed away if you start again at an MBA school. So it's quite subjective, but this would be some of the immediate action items that you could look at. Okay. uh okay, Pratham, hi Khanjan, it was very uh what do you think? Yeah. So my TV is asking, what do you think about taking a pay cut while transitioning from software engineer to PM, or we should keep searching better paying PM roles? Oh yeah, this happens. So this happens. See, I'd say if you're passionate about product management, then please take that pay cut initially. Or just don't take a pay cut, but at least you can say that at least match to kar do bhai. Who would take a pay cut and go, right? So at least if they're matching, if they're not giving you a hike or anything, it's fine. Take that I know people who take thousands of dollars of pay cuts just to enter the PM world. They don't care about money, but of course money can be and is a very big aspect for a lot of people. For me it is for sure, because I have a loan to pay, bills to pay, whatever. So in that case you have to understand that if you want to become a PM at some level, maybe you'll have to start somewhere. Now of course you should keep looking for better roles, but you have to start somewhere from some company. So let's say you set a goal for yourself that in the next 3 months I want to be a PM no matter what. Now if it's at a pay cut, do not accept it, but or you can just accept that offer, and maybe that will give you practice and also some kind of a leeway to apply to other companies as well, and then you can maybe get a better offer in the next 6 months, or let's say next 4 months. That could happen very well for you, right? So at least getting that PM work experience and role tag would be helpful for you, keeping the pay aside. Hmm. uh Okay. Drift and Edits is asking, I see for my many PM roles, they are asking MBA is mandatory requirement. Does MBA from upgrade distance MBA worth it? This is a tricky one, yeah. I mean, I don't think I'm adept, or I'm capable enough to comment on such things, because I would not do it, not because they are lesser in my view, but I wanted to do MBA because of the experience it gives. I wanted to go to the campus. Thankfully COVID was not there us time pe. COVID hota to I wouldn't go to do an MBA at all, but COVID nahi tha, so I went and I made some lifelong friends and relationships, and the kind of networking that I could do, the kind of experience that I could get, all of that made it worth spending so many lakhs. Distance MBA and this, that, it will give you a degree for sure. So if getting a degree is what you're looking for, then of course they might be worth it. If you're looking at MBA from an experience point of view, or from learning, or from building that network point of view, distance MBA is going to do zero percent of it. So you have to understand what your goals are, right? And as you said, many PM roles ask for MBA as a prerequisite. Well, I don't know, that might happen, but in that case you just have to look for companies which don't ask for MBAs. So that's all I can suggest, right? Like, there are people who say that we want only ISB and IIM graduates, and when I was not from ISB, I used to face that burn as well. But that doesn't mean I was unemployed, and that doesn't mean I was not working with the best of the company. So I think you just have to look for options. You have to, as I said, keep applying, keep widen your sample set. You will find companies which don't look at tags, you will find companies which don't care about your pedigree, and then there are companies which care about pedigree. They have their own rationale, they have their, we can debate as much as we want on why they look for all this, but it is the harsh truth. So rather than going against that, let's just find what is the next best available option for us, right? So that's what our goal should be. Hope that helps you. Okay. Shikhaj is asking, I am currently studying engineering management at Duke US. Oh, wow, there's a course for engineering management. That's nice. I'm looking to get into fintech as a PM. What are the skill sets and some of the resources that I should look into? So, Shikhaj, if you have been on this live since a while, I've covered resources in the very beginning. It will be there on my channel. But just to recap, entering into fintech as a PM is going to be a challenge if you don't already have a prior experience in fintech, right? Because as a PM, oh, you're studying engineering management, but you want to get into PM. Interesting. Okay. I just thought I read that wrong. Okay, so fintech companies usually see, when I went to Razorpay, they did ask me a few questions on fintech, but they also hired freshers. So it's not that they look for prior experience in the finance industry. What they look for is your understanding of the industry, your understanding of the nuances of the customer segments there, your understanding of the problems that exist in fintech, right? So one is for you to develop that understanding. The resources for that would be the company products and websites themselves. Learn more about the finance industry, learn more about the companies which are becoming unicorns. Why did they become unicorns? There are blogs on Razorpay, PayPal, Stripe. They have wonderful blogs that are written by their own employees. Read up those. That is the best resource you have rather than reading books. Books, what they do is they give you a theoretical knowledge, but the real world understanding is only present in the blogs and the articles that the companies write on a regular basis, right? So at Duke, you might also have network from your alums and your mentors who would also be writing a lot and talking a lot about the fintech world. That is one. The second thing that you should be doing in terms of skill development is understand what are the kinds of tools and what are the kinds of let's say processes that are required in a finance industry. So when I say that, invoicing could be one, tax management portal could be another, right? Maybe salary disbursals could be one, current accounts, banking could be other. So start studying the specifics of these tools and start doing. But this could be one, if that helps you. Since you're already at Duke, you will have access to a lot of these journals, right? So Harvard Business Review, and there are so many others, pardon me for not remembering the names, but Ken, Medium, all these are also great blogs for studying on specifics of fintech product management nuances, right? So this is the approach you can take. And as I said, nothing better than a live internship or a project in a fintech firm. PayPal is a great company because you're at Duke. I don't know if you're doing it from India or if you're there, but these kind of companies will have a lot of internship opportunities, and they have mentors who provide a lot of life project experience. So reach out to those people and you sure will be able to at least get your fundamentals cleared out, after which you can start applying. And yes, mock interview practice is a non-negotiable. Somehow it never came up in this entire live session that we have, but for whoever has still stuck with us, please practice mock interviews with your friends, family members, with your mentors. If you can pay for these mock interviews, professionals do it, I myself do it. So you can do that. If you can't pay for it at this point, you still have enough free materials available. I always never paid for things. I always used to go to YouTube and I always used to read up blogs. I have a couple of books, but I am more, as I said, I'm not a very book person when it comes to learning things. So you have enough free, paid, and live versus non real time opportunities to learn about product management, luckily now. Ragini is asking, I'm interning as a PM in a startup after working. That's awesome. As an engineer in Infosys for 3 years, should I go for MBA to get into PM role? If not, what should I do to get into a top MNC as a PM? Again, same question, right? So MBA is not going to help you get into PM, Ragini, directly. Indirectly, yes. If you work for it while you are doing your MBA, yes. If you're doing product cases, if you're prepping enough for the product roles, if you're doing internships or live projects, or if you're doing case competitions at B schools, maybe yes. Will you get shortlists on your own? Yes, because you're already doing an internship as a PM and you're an engineer at Infosys. You will get shortlists for product roles when you're doing your MBA. So going to MBA, you might have a very high chance of landing a PM role at a top MNC. Now, without going to MBA, do you have high chances? Yes, because you're already interning. You can look at a convert or a pre-placement. I mean, an offer from that company, or you can intern at some other company which is into giving placement offers, or you can start, working on landing first an APM role and then eventually a PM role. Yes, you have 3 years of work ex, so maybe APM roles might not be that lucrative for you in the start, but as I say, give it 6 or 7 months down the line and you can always proceed and progress, and companies are considerate enough to give you faster promotions in product roles if they know that you have shown the potential, right? So rather than going to an MBA, spending 2 years, this that, you will get a PM role even there, but not sure where and how, and top MNC or not, you will get a PM role as a PM in a good company. But without that also, you have good enough chances because you're already interning, so you've already broken that first barrier. And this is an inspiration for all others who are here, that you can intern as a PM even if you're an engineer or a consultant, right? So you can do that. So that would be my take on this, Ragini. Shaunak is asking, who do we report to as PMs? Is it the CXOs? No, it depends, Shaunak. So either you could report to the group PMs, the lead PMs, so to say, or you could report to the directors or vice presidents of your vertical, or you could report to the CXOs if it's a small company. But in general, you would not report to the CXOs if you're not an associate director in product. So let's say I'm an SPM. So once I become an associate director or a VP, I might report to the CXO. But in a company like PayPal, the hierarchy is very long. Versus in a company like Razorpay, the hierarchy was not that long. Sorry. So it really depends, right? But it would be somebody very senior, that's for sure. Can we expect 70 to 80 lakh package with 5 6 years experience as product manager? uh, I really don't know. I mean, Rambog, right? Rambog is, if it's your name, Avarapu. I can't comment on that. It really depends on whether you're landing a Microsoft or a Google versus you're landing, some company that is bootstrapped, that has just started. You can expect everything. Yes. Is it a realistic pay package? Yes, it is. Do people get it? Yes. Will you get it, or will we? Shreyan. I'm picking up somebody who hasn't been answered to yet, right? So Shreyan is asking, Hi Kanjan, I'm a BTech Mech graduate and currently working as a business development manager in an IT service startup. Will it be possible for me to transition into an APM role? Of course, yes. For everybody, it is possible. For everybody, it is very realistically achievable. Now, how to do that? I have given you various approaches. I have made other videos also for breaking into PM. So please have a look at it. Other people, also make videos. For example, I have a colleague from PayPal, Sugat Nayak. He makes great videos on interviews of companies. So you can look at that. Exponent has mock interviews for APM roles, PM roles, SPM roles. You can look at that to prep for your interviews. Shravan Tikku makes a lot of these videos as well, right? So you can look at getting that context and knowledge from there, because you're already in an IT company. You will understand the technicalities very well. So that shouldn't be a challenge for you. But if that is a challenge for you, then work at getting that expertise and exposure in your own company. And it is very much possible, because you're from mech background and this that. No, it's not a challenge, right, if you approach it the right way. Okay. uh Shikhaj is again asking, thanks at 7 a.m. Was supposed to wake up at 5:30 for this. Was worth it. Oh, thanks a lot, Shikhaj. That's very heartwarming. Welcome, Ragini. My TV is asking, what is the pay increment for PM? We have to keep switching companies like SWEs do nowadays. See, pay increment depends on your previous package and the company that you're going to. But I can say it is best as per industry standards. I can say that much. So you can negotiate very well in PM roles. That's for sure. Okay. Now let me go back to Tanuj and Pratham, who have been very active, and thank you for your wonderful questions. So Tanuj's question is, certain MVPs or experiments while delivering correct value miss out on design, therefore not capturing the holistic user feedback. Gets misleading. How to identify all must haves for a good MVP? So there are a lot of terms which others might not understand. I will simplify it for them first. MVP is a minimum viable product, which is the first basic version of the product that is being delivered. What else have you used? Okay, must haves for a good MVP. Huh. So what Tanuj is asking is that certain requirements that come up, right? They are not articulated correctly, or they are not captured correctly, which miss out on some user feedback, and so it leads to incomplete deliveries, or maybe not a good must have kind of a delivery, right? In order to capture all the relevant requirements from a customer perspective, your research has to be strongly done. Now, how do you do your research strongly? By not just becoming myopic about it, not by not becoming short sighted about it, right? So you need to make sure that you're looking at the immediate customer target segment that you have. You research them via surveys, via one on one interviews, via secondary interviews, right? Secondary research collection, data collection. You look at your competitors feedback that is there available on common platforms. Then you start looking at the long term picture. Do you want to be in the same customer category, or are you looking at acquiring newer avenues of customer categories as well? In that case, you have to do research, similar research in those areas. You have to collect this data and put rigorous analytics models over them, right? Not just one analytics question is what needs to be answered. You have to identify multiple patterns, causations, correlations, if there are any dependencies on one particular factor which is moving the entire direction. So these kind of questions will then help you and the design team figure out what is a non-negotiable for the customer, without which the customer is not going to even touch your product, right? Once you have that understanding is when you build a pilot. So having a pilot and getting it tested with a beta launch. Beta launches essentially with some customers, not all customers, right? Or with some internal users, internal user testing, right? User acceptance testing, UAT. So doing all these things will ensure that you have enough validations or enough feedback to improve or add on some must-haves which might have been missed, and then you can launch in the general availability segment, right? But then let me pick up some concept based question if it comes. Uh, Tejas is asking, in service based companies, have you seen product management roles other than project managers? If yes, please share how was the hierarchy and responsibilities. Yes, I was in Idea Cellular, which is sort of like a services company because telecom services is what we offer. But I was a product evangelist. So the responsibilities were to assess what are the different product innovations that we can do internally and externally. Internally, we have our customer success agents, and we have our marketing teams, we have our IT service aggregators like IBM, etc. So what could be the innovations in, let's say, fraud detection, or in marketing plans, or in analyzing our data better? So I used to work on such use cases. Sometimes it used to be external facing, sometimes internal facing, but I used to look at different technologies and vendors who could make products for this, right? And I used to help with the product development parts of it. But it's not a very conventional role in all the services companies, right? So you will have to, like I said, in banking, for example, there are digital product managers, But do they do core product development? Maybe not. They work on the aspects of service through some tool or through some process that is being designed, right? So for a core product experience, you need to be at a product firm, but there are roles neighboring or touching upon product aspects in non product organizations also. Okay. Okay, so we are at the end of this session. We are at 6. I am going to stay for 10 minutes longer because of that entire fiasco that happened. Uh, so let's quickly try to cover all the questions. And by the way, if you have any more questions, you can go to any of my video and you can put it in the comments, because I really don't know why people don't comment on my YouTube videos. They come on LinkedIn and they ask questions, but that's very difficult for me to track. So if you comment on YouTube, I will be able to answer you, and maybe others will also be able to get help. If you have personal coaching, mentoring, career questions, then I also like do sessions for that. I can share the booking details with you on LinkedIn. But basically these questions are very like easy to answer and generic, so I don't really feel that you need to, you really like have specific answers for that. You can actually look at the resources already available and approach that. Okay. Piyush is asking, what are some PM oriented projects we can do to strengthen our resume? Yeah. So PM oriented projects would be doing improvements in the current execution. It could be a product, it could be a feature, it could be a process, it could be an event, anything. Improvements is the keyword. Doing customer research to identify the problems or gaps, doing analytics on certain data set and identifying patterns to recommend improvements or changes or new products, right? That's the third kind of project. Fourth kind of project is streamlining the stakeholder management aspect. So if you're the POC for something, then you bring everybody on the same ground, you ask them to discuss their problems, you solve it, and then you achieve a certain goal. So stakeholder management oriented projects are also important. You could look at design projects. So you could design a website or design an app or design some features on a website, make changes, coding, prototyping. All of that is also very important. And the last would be market research. So you are going out and about in market and you're analyzing what are the different competitors, what are they serving, what are the reviews of customers for those product features, what are the pricing structures, what is working, what is not working, what are the growth life cycles, all of that. So market research. So hope this helps. There's a wide category of projects, luckily, that you can do for PM resume building. This would be a laundry list. Okay, Vinota is asking, does Razorpay look for pedigree tags? I have 1 year experience in consulting. No, they don't. They don't. Hopefully, they don't even now. I have left it since an year, so I can't comment, but I don't think they do. They look at talent. Mohammad Hashir is asking, hi Khanjan, just curious to know why you pursued MBA from ISB even after having NMIMS MBA. So I've answered this a couple of times, but I just wanted to go there for that experience and that platform and the alumni network that I'd get, and the I wanted to basically break into a role which was more closer to tech. Because I was in consulting, I had become a little farther away from it. So I thought this would be a good break point for me to go back to where I want to, and in a better, of course, position. So those were some of the reasons I joined ISB. Uh, thank you so much. My TV, what happens if as a PM your feature idea doesn't turn out to be success for the company? Yeah. So nothing happens really. As I said, you either do a pilot or a beta launch first, right? And you test it out. If it doesn't work or if it doesn't fetch you the outcome that you're looking for, then you just pivot it. You do research again, you look at the data, you look at the failure points, you look at whether it's a technical issue in servicing it the way you want it to, or whether it is a design issue, whether it is a capability or context issue, and then you fix it, right? So and the decision of sunsetting it completely versus fixing it comes from these studies that you do post launch. um Parvesh Kumar, if I want to go into PM role into software development from software development engineer role within the same company, what are the prerequisites? So prerequisites though would be nothing actually. You can just start looking for more responsibilities in terms of maybe managing your scrums and sprints. You could look at designing the roadmap. You could look at understanding what your overall product does, right? You could understand at how stakeholder management happens, and you could be part of those meetings. Prepare a transition plan for you where you gradually pick up more responsibilities, and you work in the capacity of an APM, and even as a PM if you're directly up for it. So you don't have a prerequisite as such, but maybe more grasp on the the product feature aspects rather than just delivery aspects or coding aspects. Understanding the data better, what data is helping in what kind of assessment, understanding the requirements better, right? That would help you. And if you have such a transition support there in your company, I'd say nothing like it, just grab it, right? uh Chirag Khullar, thanks for this amazing session. You're so welcome, Chirag. Thank you for attending it. Swapnil, hi Kanjan, can you tell me what tools you use in your day-to-day work, like Power BI or anything? Great question. No, we don't use Power BI. See, I think in terms of tools, I would say that I just use email, any email tool that you have. I use communication tools to talk with my team members. So I use Teams currently. Earlier, I used to use Slack. We use project management tools like Jira, and we have an internal tool at PayPal, but some companies have used third party tools like Asana, Notion, etc. for project management aspects, as I said. We also look at data, so maybe Google Analytics or some in-house tool for conducting analytics on the data parameters that have already been prepared for us by the analytics team. Then I work with lot of core tools. So because I work in a specific team at PayPal, I look at a lot of core tools which are depending which are my products, right? So my product tools is what I use every day. So that's very specific to my team, so I won't name them, and you won't even know them because they're in house, but I use them. And then I think apart these your basics, right? Your uh, MS Office and Google Docs. So nothing really that specific except for Jira and your project management tool, and they are very easily learnable tools, right? And you should know how to do analytics over Excel, etc. So mastering Excel will be helpful on in any role, right? Like Excel is the king of it all, so you should know that well. Yeah. Uh, okay. My TV is APM role okay for 2.5 years SWA experience, or should go to PM role? It is okay. I mean, as I said, right? Like, if you are an SWE and if you are not getting any PM roles, then you can pick it up from APM level and you can grow, faster. But if you're getting a PM role, nothing like it. So it really depends on what opportunities are you getting and how much effort are you willing to put into landing a PM role versus an APM role, right? Because the effort that has to be put in landing a PM role is way more higher than an APM role. So it really depends on what are you getting and how much are you willing to wait and work for it. Tejas, like US culture, are the Indian companies accepting, or rather, I would say, entertaining the applications for PM with no experience? If yes, please tell me the names of these companies if you come across. So, as I said, at beginner level, they do hire from campuses. When they hire from campuses, they either hire interns or they hire APMs, or even sometimes from MBA schools, they hire PMs. Now, when you're going from a school, it really doesn't compare to when you're applying without an MBA school or without a grad school and without a prior experience, right? So, in that case, as I said, you should try to showcase how your own company or how your own experience also enables you to be a good PM, or how your own college projects or how your own internships, live projects help you to be a good PM. And I can't name companies because frankly I was not at that stage when I was applying, right? So I wouldn't know that. but I get messages from people like you, right, who have followed my videos, etc., every single day. I don't publish all this because I'm not a person who blows her own trumpet. So you'd never find me putting screenshots of appreciation like other people do. I wouldn't take names. But so many people come to me and they tell me that I got this APM role by watching your videos, I got this PM role by watching your videos, and maybe some other videos that they might have watched too. So it means that there are companies which hire, right? It means that there are employers which hire people based on pure talent and pure skills and capabilities than actual experience. So I can help out with doing some kind of a research on this maybe shortly. I'll build this data set for you, all right, and it's a good thing for me to also think upon, but I can't name specific companies at this point. Okay. uh, Mohammed is asking any tips on transitioning from project manager to APM. As I said, see, tips and all will remain same. Ki bhai, if you are not a PM already, do projects, work on product cases, maybe enroll yourself in a talent recruiting agency or a group like PM School, etc., which offer placement assistance, right? Take live projects, increase your networking and your visibility, transition internally. Mu Sigma mein, I don't think there'll be product roles, but if there are, then no harm in looking at those. If not, then look at internships and APM roles at the beginners level, or even PM1 roles in companies which are looking for certain specific, let's say, analytics experience if you're into Mu Sigma, right? Or project management experience, prior project management experience and data related experience. You can highlight that and you can apply for those roles. One tip here is, whenever you apply for a PM role, look at the job description. Job description will have certain keywords that I need a PM who is well versed with customer research methodologies. I want a PM who knows analytics and knows SQL, Java, etc. I need a PM who knows, let's say, digital marketing aspects. So there will be these nuances mentioned. If you match those nuances, then make sure that you tweak your resume, or you update your resume, not tweak, but update your resume to incorporate those keywords and aspects and showcase how you have worked in those domains. That will help you definitely land a shortlist. Once you get a shortlist, your half the battle is won. Then you just have to have good interview prep done, good mock interviews practiced, good hold over the structure of product management cases, and then you can proceed with your interviews. Sure. So I think we will end here, folks. It's already 6:15, and I have spoken for so long. I don't know how will my throat react to this. But I'll keep doing these sessions, right? Like, I'll not do very frequently because I don't know if there's a need for it. I'll do it maybe once in 15 days or a month, depending on the response I get, right? So ways to reach out to me would be through LinkedIn, but not the best way, through YouTube. I have a website, by the way, of my own. You can reach out to me through that also. I'll just post it here. Okay. And I'll take the last question, right? So Tejas is asking, is there any scope to enter into Razorpay, PayPal as an APM? What's your thought on this? Yeah, Razorpay does hire APMs. PayPal, I am not sure. But the best way is to look at their careers page and openings, and look at what are the openings, and look at the job descriptions, prepare your resumes for it, talk to a few employees, get a referral, practice mock interviews, and approach it from that angle, right? So, okay, so folks, we'll end here. Thank you so much for all of you, the ones who stuck by after that technical glitch. Special thank you to you, and the ones who came back again. Thank you so much, and I wish you all the best. I do some personal mentoring and coaching sessions, and the details about it I can share if you reach out to me. But I have already made a lot of content which is free, and I have worked with PM School, Exponent, to create more free content for you. And honestly, that's enough if you approach it the right way. So please stay safe, please take care, and thanks again. Bye bye.